After many weeks away, it is with great joy that we're able to say that public worship will resume in the churches of the Archdiocese of Hartford on Monday, June 8th. This reopening will include weekday masses and other liturgies and sacraments, including funeral masses, wedding masses, baptisms, and confessions. While we know that many parishioners are eager to return for Sunday Mass each week, this initial reopening will not include Sundays just yet. That's because at the current time, our churches are only allowed to have either 100 total people or 25% of the church's full capacity, whichever is less, too few for many of our parishes at a typical Sunday liturgy. In addition, this reopening will involve new guidelines and procedures that will take some getting used to, both for our churches and for all those attending. And these initial days of weekday reopenings will allow everyone to learn what to do to ensure the health and safety of yourself and others when coming back to church. While each parish will determine some of the particulars of how to implement the guidelines that were recently announced by Archbishop Blair, this video will offer general guidelines to help you in knowing what to expect when returning to weekday Mass. This process begins before you even arrive at church with your decision of whether or not to come at all. While we understand that everyone will want to return to Mass as soon as possible, we ask that the elderly, those with pre-existing conditions, those who are fearful or anxious, and those who take care of a sick or homebound person strongly consider staying at home right now. For those who cannot come, you need not be concerned that you're missing Mass, as Archbishop Blair has extended the dispensation from the Sunday obligation and any obligation to attend Mass through the beginning of September. The Archdiocese will also continue to provide options for you to watch Masses at home or wherever you are, both through the ORTV television broadcasts and online streams from your parishes. For those who are able to attend, when you arrive at the church, you will need to be wearing a face mask. These masks will be worn during the entire time that you're in the church, with the brief exception of when it's time to receive communion. It will also be helpful for you to bring your own hand sanitizer. Though parishes will try to provide some for you, bringing your own will ensure that everyone can stay safe and can properly disinfect when needed. Upon entering the church and throughout your time here, you'll be asked to keep a social distance of at least 6 feet from others. While families who live in the same household will be able to sit together without this distancing, all others will be required to remain at least 6 feet apart. During Mass, you'll likely notice that some things are missing from the church. There will be no holy water in the fonts, and no books, missalettes, or bulletins in the pews. In addition, no offertory collection will be taken during any Mass, though there will be collection boxes and receptacles available where you can safely drop your donations on your way in or your way out. During the Mass, you'll also notice a few things that have been temporarily suspended. These include any kind of touching, such as the sharing of the sign of peace or holding hands during the Our Father. Also, there will be no singing by the congregation. While some parishes may have music played or even sung by a cantor, the congregation is asked not to sing along, as singing has been shown to greatly increase the potential spread of the virus. The priest and the few ministers who may be assisting him will not be wearing masks while in the sanctuary, but they will be keeping at least 6 feet apart as Mass is celebrated. You may notice as well that the priest will be praying his prayers from the altar to eliminate the need for anyone to hold books for him. Also, as he prepares the altar during the Mass, an additional corporal will be placed off to the side for the paten that holds all the hosts for the congregation. At communion time, the priest or another minister distributing communion will put on a face mask in order to distribute. Those in attendance are asked to come forward in the communion line while keeping 6 feet between each person, a distance that will be marked on the aisle floor. When it's your turn to receive, you will come forward, receive the host, step to the marked location on the side, remove or lower your mask, reverently consume the host, replace your mask, and then follow the floor markings to return to your seat. Respecting this process will help to minimize any possible exposure from person to person. During this stage of reopening, the cup will not be offered to parishioners, and all are strongly encouraged to receive in the hand. As communion is distributed, if the priest or minister makes contact with anyone, he will stop and sanitize his own hands immediately before proceeding with the next person. At the end of the Mass, all are asked to observe safe social distancing as they exit, following the marked flow of traffic. No social gatherings or interactions should be taking place at this point or at any point during your time at the church, as such exchanges provide a greater chance for yourself or for others to become sick. With so many critical details to consider, each parish will have its own specific way of implementing some of these procedures, like how they'll mark the floors, how it's determined who can attend these limited capacity masses, or how and when confessions will begin to be offered again. So please check your parish website or Facebook page, or call the parish office to learn more and to find out exactly what's happening at your church. Archbishop Blair has been adamant that your safety and the safety of our clergy is critical during this time. So parishes have been asked to only resume public worship when they've made all the necessary preparations and can follow the procedures offered here and found in the official guidelines put out by the Archdiocese. When those preparations are made, the Archbishop believes that following those procedures will allow us to return in a safe and careful way. Because of that, both he and the priests of the Archdiocese are pleased that implementing these guidelines will allow all of us to have the opportunity to join together once again for public worship and to receive our Lord in the Blessed Sacrament. So we thank you. We thank you for your help in ensuring that this plan is followed, and look forward to opening our doors beginning on June 8th to see you all once again.